Well, I know what some of you might be thinking. What the fuck is this, Antonio? You only had one countdown from the vote left. Did you just give up on it? And in response to that, I say no. It'll come soon, I promise. But for now, friends, I'll give some context as to why this was the first video of February. You see, I initially wanted to revisit this video after I remade the Scariest Domestic Violence PSAs, but I decided instead to hold a vote on what countdowns I would make last month, and so now I'm finally doing this because I don't really have any other reason to put it off. The top 20 unintentionally funny PSAs, a much needed remake of what I personally consider to be my worst countdown of all time, and arguably one of my worst received. Also, this is my first ever PSA related collab, so in fact, let's let the butch dog girl herself that dedicated her time to work on it do the honors of announcing it.
Hey friends, this is DJMutt. You can just call me Maggie. And alright, first collab. This is exciting.
Anyways, you know the drill, guys. Roll the intro.
Nicotine can reprogram your brain until all you think about is your next cigarette. Don't get hacked.
Truth be told, I do find this PSA kinda creepy, but there's one reason and one reason only that it made it onto this list. And here's the context. I got into making videos on PSAs back when Cyberpunk 2077 was a pretty big meme, and now I cannot think of this PSA without an urge to make Cyberpunk 2077 jokes. Granted, now that Cyberpunk's no longer a meme, it's returned to being slight nightmare fuel in my opinion, due to the lifeless stares of these teens with USB port mouths, but it still makes me giggle at the jokes my mind makes about a rushed game that had a lot of potential.
Hi, I'm Ticklebot23. My super skills are rocket jumps, mega blasts, and sending nude photos to your kids. Wanna play?
Hi, I'm Snugglepuff74. My monster powers are thunder stomps, horn beams, and tricking your kids into sending me nude photos. Wanna be my friend?
Hi, I'm Flashcat25. My superpowers are rainbow runs, lightning strikes, and luring your kids to meet in real life. Wanna chat?
I talked about these a week ago, and I believe I explained why they fall into this territory. The mood whiplash comes out of fucking nowhere, which is a really easy way to make me laugh. Also, a lot of my viewers informed me of the fact that Flashcat25 may very well be voiced by Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog, which adds to its humor even fucking more. Though the mood whiplash is quite shocking, I admit, hence why they're so low on the list.
I'm working overtime because I want to take my family on a nice vacation. Soon they get a call telling them I was killed in an accident. But hey, I'm wearing a busted harness here. And the company should have checked those tanks to
There's been an accident! Run, get some help!
This is a PSA I do find scary, but I can absolutely see the unintentional hilarity in it. The way he just fucking ragdolls and falls onto a truck is incredibly funny to me, because unlike its direct sister PSA, the man's injuries and the explosion aren't that realistic, and to an extent, he killed himself by holding his blowtorch going so close to those gas tanks. It's one I've got mixed feelings on. On one hand, it's still a good PSA, but on the other hand, WSIB has done far better.
Let's go. Go, sweetheart. Look at game.
Get him, Tiger.
Go.
Right? Go get him. Okay. Hey, what's up?
Come on! Go! Good luck! Come on, Stace! Go! That's my girl!
I get what this PSA was trying to do, but seriously? You're telling me there was a whole ass soccer match on this field and only one fucking person blew up? You're telling me nobody checked the fucking field beforehand before hosting this soccer match? It's graphic and all, yes, but it's so over the top that it's hard to take seriously. It's one of those PSAs where it's just too shocking to take seriously.
I'd like more children off their heads on drugs.
I'd like more kids beaten senseless by their parents.
I'd like more children dropping out of school.
I'd like more suicidal children.
I'd like more child prostitutes.
I'd like more daughters sexually abused by their fathers.
Way to fumble your message in the most ham-fisted way possible, Childline. It's both disconcerting and fucking hilarious to hear these counselors describe the horrible things they want children going through while this light, hopeful music plays in the background. There's only one reason this one didn't make it onto my top 20 worst PSAs countdown, and that's because it was beaten out by Sextortion. I understand what they were going for. They want more resources because only a third of calls go through, but there has to be a better, less ham-fisted, unintentionally hilarious way to execute this.
You're doing a real good job on your picture.
Some coffee.
Please.
I'd like some more too, please. Sure.
She spilled my coffee.
I'm sorry, sir.
You fucking bitch. I'll bring a little coffee. How do you like that?
You wouldn't get away with it here. You won't get away with it at home.
I talked about this one way early on in the year in the remake of my Scariest Domestic Violence PSAs countdown, and well, I stand by my opinion. It's just really not that scary since it's over the top as all hell. I mean, all she did was spill your coffee, dude. It's not that deep. Yes, I know people in domestic violence PSAs have beaten their spouses over much less than spilled coffee, but the way it's executed here is just really funny to me, since the abusive father's actor is just way too into this role.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Speak, child, don't wanna stay alive when you're 25. I'm a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. Call me Mr. Raider, call me Mr. Wrong, call me Mr. Bane. I'm on a highway to hell. I'm on a highway to hell. It must have been love, but it's over now. It must have been good, but I lost it somehow. It must have been love.
Death by reckless driving, 5 years in prison.
Wizo, slow down. Expect the unexpected.
Okay, I'ma get this off my chest. I love all the songs used in this PSA, but what puts this PSA on here is in fact the oversaturation of the music and the face the little girl makes before the car crashes into the one she's in. This is a common thing in DOE PSAs. They focus more on the soundtrack and less on making the PSA effective. If you're not like me and good at spotting themes and playlists, you might have been confused with what a lot of the songs towards the end, those being Don't Stop Me Now, Mr. Vane, Highway to Hell, and It Must Have Been Love, had in common. The common theme was going fast due to vanity and overconfidence, only for the love motivating it to come to an abrupt end due to his reckless driving. It had potential, but it definitely squandered it quite a bit with its unintentional hilarity. I mean, look at that fucking face that girl makes and tell me that's not funny.
¿Otra vez? ¿Te das cuenta que no te da la cabeza? ¿O pensás con los pies? Yo estoy bastante cansada con todo esto, ¿eh? Mira que ya sos grande. A veces creo que no servís para nada.
I get the metaphor that was at play here, saying that kids will believe whatever you tell them and you shouldn't say hurtful things to them because of this, but this is such a silly way of executing it. Feet for a Head in the big kid one made me laugh much more than they should have. It's so fucking cursed that it's fucking hilarious. Not really much else to say about this little number.
It's 5 o'clock! You will wake up! Make me breakfast! I want something else! Pay me attention! Read me this story! Who said you could sleep? I want Walter. I've had enough!
Like Hacked, This is one that was on the original list, and I stand by my opinion on it. I don't care what anyone says, it's hilarious to see this grown-ass drill sergeant demand such childish things from the mother, especially when he demands she read him a story. Though that sudden mood whiplash when the drill sergeant turns out to be her kid is quite disconcerting. I will give it this. It's a solid PSA. It's definitely not their worst PSA, though we'll get to the one that is the NSPCC's worst PSA on this list soon. But it's definitely one that's more unintentionally funny than anything else.
Ztratili své přátele v jednom okamžiku. I nebezpečné předjíždění je jen okamžik.
I talked about this one in my top 35 scariest Eastern European PSAs countdown and briefly touched upon its Army qualities. The best way I can describe this PSA would be a check shame on you, but done only marginally better since the graphic aspects are slightly realistic. Their faces burning being quite horrifying in particular. And the people react as you'd expect them to in such a situation. But there's two reasons this PSA ended up on this list in its specific spot. One, the fact that the car just randomly explodes when it lands on the ground after falling from the bridge. And two, the use of cheap stock screams for when the couple burned to death. It severely reduces the scare factor of this PSA to hear a scream that's been used many times in cheap horror movies. In fact, I think that's one of the key components to avoid when you want to make something genuinely scary. You don't use already overused stock screams.
You blow your snotty nose, another tree goes down. Clear 100 acres when you sneeze. Another box of Kleenex, one more forest gone. There's wax to make from the trees we take, and those stumps are all that we leave. The virgin forest is what we love to use to make the Kleenex soft for your nose. Get out the birds, the endangered herds. Bears and wolves hit the road, for there's no tree we won't clear cut and then load. We'll fill the boxes and kill the foxes to wipe your nose when you sneeze.
And we'll cut them all.
Yes, we'll cut them all. We'll clear cut them all right down to the last tree.
I'll give my thoughts on this PSA later. For now, I'm handing over the floor to the girl who introduced me to this very PSA. Meggie, take it away.
Where do I even begin? I shared this with Antonio mainly because WALL-E is one of my favorite movies ever. And for context, back when the movie was first released in 2008, it was being marketed on Kleenex. The quote, irony, is that Kleenex was allegedly destroying forests when that was one of the exact things the movie was condemning. Antonio especially laughed at the virgin forest. It could have been anything, honestly, like the precious forest, but no, the virgin forest. On a similar note, there are a million possibilities with the Greenpeace and WALL-E collab. This is what we got. Wow. That's all on my mind. Back to you.
Couldn't have said it any better, Meggie. The line virgin forest did indeed catch me quite off guard and had me laughing, since I can always catch and enjoy a good innuendo. The reason I laughed at that line is because it basically implied Kleenex fucked the forest. I don't know how the fuck Greenpeace got away with saying that.
One day, Alex and Sam were mucking around on their phones.
Why don't we take a selfie? Yeah.
Then Sam had an idea.
I'll take a picture.
What if they sent a picture of Alex's willy to their friend Katie? You know, the kind that disappears in a few seconds. When Katie saw it, she thought it was very funny. So she screen grabbed the picture and sent it to her friends. And they sent it to theirs. And the next day at school...
Newsflash! The world sees Alex's willy.
Alex even got a message from a bully. He then got one from a man he didn't know. Sometimes children share things they shouldn't online. And the effects can be devastating. Help keep your child safe. Search Share Aware.
I've ripped this PSA to shreds before and I will fucking do it again. It is so unbelievably ridiculous that I just can't help but laugh at it. There is so much shit this rare flop from the NSPCC got wrong that it has me laughing every time. It's a decent message, I guess, you know, teach your child not to, you know, do stupid things and then post them on the internet. But it's executed in such a goofy way that it's impossible to take seriously. And as TV Trope stated, child pornography laws would have made Alex seen as the victim of a horrible crime, and Sam would have been punished for decades as a result of his stupid actions. So not only is this PSA unintentionally hilarious, it's also very heavily misinformed. Also, your willy is rubbish is a 10 out of 10 insult, like goddamn.
When you've got an extreme thirst, you know there's only one thing to reach for. A can of Splode. With 100 times the carbonation of ordinary soft drinks, Splode is intense. So if you think you can handle the pressure, grab a Splode and obliterate your thirst.
Truth be told, all the 1 in 3 PSAs are unintentionally hilarious in their own ways, but this one is the funniest of all. The way the announcer talks is just so reminiscent of a 90s teen soda commercial, and the fact that this can of soda just explodes the minute he opens it had me dying. The way the boy and girl look at each other confused after their friend just explodes upon opening this soda was the cherry on top. This plays out more like a Whitest Kids You Know sketch than a PSA, especially since the message seems very shoehorned in.
I'm Captain Lou Albano talking to you about drugs. Kids, don't be afraid to say no. Anyone that asks you to use drugs is not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Please.
This one's a fucking classic. The iconic PSA where Mario gets deep on you and says that if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Everything about this PSA is just cursed in such a funny way. Like, why is Captain Lou Albano as Mario, of all people, giving you this lecture on drugs? What's with the Mario cartoon soundtrack? What is this yellow room he's in, and why is there only a chair aside from him? There are so many questions that this PSA begs that are actually even funnier left unanswered. Ironically, I feel like a PSA this hilariously surreal could have only been made by someone who is high. And also, alongside Do the Mario, this is one of Lou Albano's greatest contributions to the world, if only because of how ironically funny it is.
So, Sarah, what's going on here? Sarah? Sarah?
She won't answer you. Or she can't. This is the way it's been since she started smoking pot. She's all lazy and boring and... You know, we used to have so much fun together.
And now?
This is what we do.
Partnership for a Drug-Free America's Above the Influence campaign isn't known for any of its PSAs being good, but this is arguably their most laughable. Normally, I find this type of imagery at least slightly unsettling, but here it's just funny. That strain of weed got Sarah's ass and she never fucking recovered from it. Her friend isn't even concerned. She just seems angry at Sarah for this horrible weed-induced accident, which really fucking makes me laugh about this. Also, when fucking Family Guy made fun of this PSA, I'm clearly not the only one who sees the unintentional humor in this PSA, when even those outside the community are laughing at it.
Now, what's wrong with you? Tonsillitis?
Appendicitis.
Yeah! Nobody's died of tonsillitis around here for a while.
Appendicitis.
Nothing to worry about. Scalpel?
What if the joint were in somebody else's hand, like your surgeon, your lawyer, or your local policeman? Would you still say marijuana is harmless?
Now, let's see if I can still make a straight line.
Well, well, well. A third PSA that was on my original list. As I said on the original countdown, I don't know what's funnier. The fact that Partnership for a Drug-Free America is trying so hard to fearmonger about weed, acting like it truly makes people that unhinged, or the fact that the surgeon is playing this role in such a goofy way. I mean, this is something that would happen in an old Looney Tunes episode. The silliest case of medical malpractice I've ever seen. It's so unbelievably stupid. Also, a member of my server stated that there is a hilarious mistake I never really dwelled upon before now. That being, why the fuck wasn't the patient put under before his appendectomy? All in all, One of the many PSAs from Partnership for a Drug-Free America that is so bad it's hilarious, and definitely the funniest one in my opinion. Oh hey, the fourth and final PSA here that was on my original countdown. This is one of the most hilarious online safety PSAs I've ever seen. The morphing may freak some out, but I personally think it's just too over the top to really take all that seriously. I mean, she gets called a fat cow and immediately gains 100 pounds, proving his point. The facial morphing is just more silly than scary. It's incredibly dated as well, adding to its humor. To be honest, these just sound like, average, ribbing comments, stuff friends would say to each other ironically. Just a bit of joshing with the boys. I'm just saying, ClickSafe has definitely made better PSAs than this, I'll tell you that much. But this one is comedy gold, I'll give it that.
What have you found?
Wait for Daddy. Don't go too far.
I've torn this PSA to shreds many times within my YouTube career, and I'll probably keep laughing at it as many times as I can. When it's not fucking confusing with how convoluted it is, it's laughable to an extreme degree, because none of this would fucking happen in real life. Anywhere close to a nuclear reactor would be closed to the public, and even if a plane did crash into one, the plane would crumple on impact due to the fortified walls of the nuclear power plant. No wonder Greenpeace rejected this sensationalist joke of PSA. I do not blame them one bit. I would have probably thrown the tape it was submitted on right into the fucking garbage can.
suit today.
Boy, I hate that darn thing.
I first saw this PSA on Zakar's channel, and to be honest, I don't understand how anyone can find this PSA that scary. Like, yeah, I guess it is incredibly gory, hence why it's the only PSA here with a warning, but the incredibly poorly written and sung song, the bad acting, unrealistic stupidity demonstrated within the PSA, the stock screams, and poor editing that make my videos, which are made with entry-level editing software on a laptop with a $0 budget, look well made, make it incredibly silly. I find it impossible to take this PSA seriously. It's just too fucking over the top. Like, who would wear ripped shoes to work? Fucking hell. But, a fun fact about this PSA, you too can actually own a physical copy of this unintentional work of comedic gold for $149 US if you buy a DVD through AP Safety Training's website. However, as narmy, as ridiculous, as unintentionally hilarious as this PSA is, there is one PSA that is somehow even narmier than this one, and we're going to get right to it.
She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was as fresh as the bright blue sky. Now and then when I see her face, she takes me away to that special place. And if I stayed too long, I'd probably break down and cry. Oh, sweet child of mine.
Since 2000, speeding has killed a classroom of our children. Shame on you. You can never control the consequences if you speed.
Come on, was there really any other PSA that could fit this spot? It's the infamous PSA that almost every veteran PSA enthusiast has ripped to shreds for how unintentionally hilarious it is. The fact that I used to be scared of this PSA just goes to show how I've really matured since I began my journey into the PSA community when I was 12. Because now I see this PSA for exactly what it is. Pure unadulterated NARM and nothing more than that. I mean, the crash defies logic in so many ways. It's like the producers were so focused on making this PSA violent that they forgot the whole reason these kinds of PSAs are scary is because of their realism. And there's absolutely fucking none of that in this PSA, since there's no reason that the car would have flipped over the brick wall like that no matter how fast the driver was speeding. The children don't even make an effort to run as they get bloodlessly flattened, and the teachers just nonchalantly stand there and watch it happen. It tries so hard to be brutal that it's one of the most ironically funny PSAs I've ever seen. There really was no other choice for number one.
Alright friends, that was our first collab. I look forward to the next one if that ever happens. And bye later. This is DJMutt signing off.
And that, ladies, gentlemen, and fellow non-binary daisies, is the end of another video. And I promise I will get the last video left from the vote, the top 20 scariest Middle Eastern PSAs, out real soon, though I worry that video might be controversial. I just wanted to get this collab out of the way since Maggie went out of her way to submit her sprite and lines early. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you've done all those things, join my Discord server, link in the video and description. And if you've done all those things, y'all have a great day. Antonio out. Peace.